Hey, it's Zane here, and happy Monday to you. Just sitting out here on my back porch, enjoying a morning coffee. I've been out for a big walk this morning, and tuning into a couple of my favourite YouTube channels. Now, one of those is, of course, Stansbury Research. I mentioned it on my video yesterday. Daniela Camboni, she interviews various guests who talk specifically about the state of the financial system, and it's not information that you will get in the mainstream news, what these people share. And I also tuned into a clip with George Gammon, who is just an absolute wizard at simplifying the state of the financial system and what we can do to educate and protect ourselves. You know, I think now more than ever, it's so important that we self-educate. Yesterday I did a video which you'll see here on my page or on my channel here about 3 keys to personal greatness, and it was more to do with how we treat our mindset and our physical body in particular. But today I just want to share some thoughts around our approach to our life in general, and how it is that we are looking at our preparedness for basically a period of disruption, a period of time where I believe things are going to be a little different from what we've become accustomed to over the last decade, even 20, 30 years. We have to realize that there are some real changes going on in the world right now. We have geopolitical tensions that are escalating and have the potential to escalate. We have a situation where central banks are starting to tighten their monetary policy, and this is going to have a flow-on effect to the general economy. It's going to greatly impact people's personal balance sheets, because it's going to increase their exposure to debt and their ability to service that debt. Particularly, obviously, housing debt and mortgages. And we also have a situation where I truly believe that we're in the midst of an information war, a war that has been really ramped up over the past 2 years with the so-called health crisis, and now we're just seeing that continue, where the mainstream media is not reporting accurately on everything from, the truth about the pandemic to what's going on in Ukraine, and also, the state of the financial system. And there's a reason for that. It's because, the mainstream media is controlled essentially by a handful of significant players, and they basically control the information flow that gets out to the masses. And so we have to be really consciously aware of what we're dialed into, our radio frequency, as I like to call it, and we need to be thinking critically for ourselves as to whether or not that information, A, is serving us, and B, is actually the truth. And that's why I established a long time ago that, neither of those things were the case. It wasn't the truth, and we weren't being told the full story. So I went out hunting for information to really help to educate myself about the state of the world, about the truth, about the state of the banking system, the financial system, where we are in terms of what phase we are in history. And the way that history tends to repeat itself over time. And so, I truly believe that right now we are at a crossroads where we must self-educate. We must self-educate. And like I said yesterday, we all have 24 hours in the day, and we get to choose how we spend that time. And I truly believe that one of the best things that we can do for ourselves every single day, not only in terms of taking care of our physical body and our mindset and our positive approach to life, but is to self-educate, is to spend some time just expanding our horizons in terms of how we understand the world, how it works, how we understand the state of the financial system, and how it might impact us on a personal level. Because once we have that information, we can then make informed decisions that are rational, logical, that are street smart, and we can take steps, to get ourselves in a state or a situation where we're as protected and as prepared as we can be, and as bulletproof as we can be for no matter what it is that the world throws at us. Now, you and I both know that had we been sitting here in January 2020 and had have predicted everything that unfolded over the ensuing couple of years that we've had to deal with, we would have said that could never happen. It's a conspiracy. It's just ridiculous. It's preposterous to think that those kinds of things could happen. And yet, look at what we all went through. And so, if we're not already awake, it's time for us to get awake and to self-educate. Okay, and as I said, I think that certainly our kids are going to be in for a different world to the one that we grew up in, and I think there's going to be quite some disruption to the financial system that is not too far away, and I think we're already seeing the cracks starting to appear with that. There are many experts that are predicting that we're not only going to experience a recession over the next few years, even sooner, but even potentially a depression. Because a lot of people don't realize that, we've basically been through an unprecedented period of prosperity for the last, 30, 40 years, and all good things must come to an end. And the reason for it is because the central banks of this world have basically just manipulated the system to such a degree that there is so much debt in the system now that the people are basically on the hook. And unless you can start to unravel your life from that system, you're going to stay on the hook. And once they roll out, central bank digital currencies, universal basic income for the masses who basically have nowhere else to go, we're going to see some significant disruption to society as we know it. And that's why now is the time for us to self-educate and to start getting prepared. So, really for me, I've spent the last 18 months, really studying this stuff and really getting rational in my own mind. And we've taken significant steps as my wife and I, and as a family, to get out of debt, to consolidate assets, and to, get ourselves prepared and put our money into things that we know are going to serve us through times of disruption and through times of challenge, which I believe we have ahead. So those are my thoughts today. Get self-educated if you're not already. Like I said, I'm not here to advise you financially on what you should do. That's something for you to decide. But the more you self-educate yourself, the more you put yourself in a frame of mind where you can start to think outside the box, think more rationally, become more street smart, and not just kowtow to what we're, being shoved in our throats, from the schooling system to the media and everything else in between. So, again, self-education is everything, and it's something I'm passionate about. Obviously, professionally, we ran events around the country for many years that were really centered around self-care and self-education. Doing a lot of work with Cowboy Don Tolman, who of course was a real guru in studying the ancient history of those particular fields of endeavor. And I really believe that we've done full circle, and now we're at a time where we need to be paying attention to our self-care and our self-education. So I'll leave it there today, and really nothing else to be said other than, let's get really practical about our approach to our life and how it is that we educate ourselves and what we tune into every single day. That's my message today. Have a great week. Have a great Monday, whatever you may be doing, wherever you may be. This is Zane signing out. Thanks for watching. Stay strong, live well, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.